I think if I hear you call me Becky one more time, six-pack, I'm gonna pop your tops. All six of them.
Who are you?
Hey, this is Matt. Once again, we're about to another review. There's another paid request, this time for Gunnel. Thank you so much for that. For those interested in requesting pretty much any type of videos or topics or reactions or re-reviews, whatever, feel free to send them either directly to my PayPal or join my Patreon. Both links are down below in the info box. And this is for a film called Paid in Full from 2002, which I guess is based on a true story. You have Mekhi Phifer, who I like as an actor. Here's the thing with this film. Bad. It was alright. I thought it was just an alright film. And even though it's based on a true story, granted, it just felt like I've seen this film multiple times before, or in the same genre before. And I don't think this film holds a candle to New Jack City or Fresh from 1994, which I really enjoyed. That was a welcome surprise. Fresh. I haven't seen it. I highly recommend Fresh from the early 90s. Juice, Menace to Society, even Set It Off or Caught Up with Bokeem Woodbine. Again, all films that will have the same plot, but either dealing with a little bit of crime or a little bit of the some of them deal with the urban element. Some of them have some off-kilter plots, like Caught Up. That's one of the things that was interesting about that film. Or dealing with people having to be forced into a life of crime. And like I said, all those films I mentioned, they have either that spark or that energy, or like I said, they're more interesting. Or it's hard to say interesting and creative, because if it's based on a true story, they can only follow as much as they can. I mean, if you're deviating that much on a true story, then it's like, why based on a true story in the first place? So I get that. Like, the actors are fine. I like Mekhi Phifer. He does a decent job. He's not the lead. He's I was told, the second lead. The lead guy is a man named Wood Harris. And it kind of goes a little bit in between time. Like, it's in 1986 in Harlem, and you have these three drug dealers, Wood Harris, Mekhi Phifer, and I think the third guy is Cameron, I believe is his name. I'm sorry, I'm not that familiar with him. And they're having fun, and they're talking about, the food they got, and oh man, fuck the soy sauce, man, and hey, I'll make a bet I can get this food, get this trash in that trash can. Oh yeah, try to do it again. So there's back and forth banter that get us to know, we the audience, to know that how these three relate to each other, that they do get along with each other. Wood Harris's character recently had a baby, then he gets fucked up badly, he's in the hospital, and then goes back a year later, as sort of shows his rise into this drug lifestyle. where originally he was working at this cleaners with his Chi McBride, who I remember as Will Smith's boss in iRobot. He's been in other stuff too. But he's working at the cleaners while Mekhi Phifer, he's very good friends with. He deals with drugs, but he's like a friendly drug dealer. And then one day with the cleaners, he meets S.I. How the hell do you pronounce his name? S.A. Morales. He's a guy in La Bamba. He played Lou Diamond Phillips' brother in La Bamba. He was also in a film called In the Army Now with Pauly Shore. Meets with him. The guy has some drugs. One leads to another. He's able to sell the drug. And he's like, wow, I was able to sell this drug very quick. He got a lot of money. And then that gets him into this lifestyle. Especially with Mekhi Phifer going to jail and then coming out. When he's in jail, he meets this other guy, Cameron, who helps him out. And then, hey, can I get a job, Wood Harris? Can this guy who helped me out in jail get a job? And then three of them start the drug business until things go wrong, of course. So, I'm going to get into spoilers in a little bit. But like I said, as I'm watching the film, like I said, because it's based on a true story, that's almost a detriment to it, in a way, because nothing really that crazy, outrageous, or clever, or unique happens. So you're watching a film that you, I don't want to say by the numbers, but kind of just, you hit the beats and you can maybe see where things are going, which I know is weird to say. It just, there's nothing for me that makes this film stand out compared to all those films I mentioned before. Either whether because of like Wesley Snipes' dynamic acting, and then you have Ice-T and even Judd Nelson and Mario Van Peebles in New Jack City, or the POV of the little boy in Fresh, which made that film fresh, pun intended. Or the way Tupac and Omar Epps, like the way they interacted with each other in Juice, or at that Menace to Society, that was a well-directed film. Like visually, it was more appealing compared to this. And like I said, Caught Up with Bokeem Woodbine, just a much more off-kilter plot, which was fun. You'll set it off, though, not just the fact that it's women doing these robberies, but you really get the camaraderie of the four women, and has a little bit more of an action punch to it. I thought the director did a nice job with that. I didn't hear the direction, for the most part, I thought was kind of standard. Other than one part where Wood Harris is watching Scarface, because you gotta remember this took place in the 80s, and so 86, a year before, this is around when Scarface just came out in the theaters, and Wood Harris and a group are watching the movie, and they actually have footage of Scarface and Al Pacino at the end. I'm like, yeah, I would rather be watching Scarface, honestly. That's kind of the bad move in a way movie, but that footage and then watching it is mixed in with Mekhi Phifer and his crew killing someone that stole their money, and the way that's interspersed with the crowd reacting to the violence and then what's actually happened with the violence in real life. It was an interesting enough juxtaposition of movie violence in comparison to real life, and how people are cheering in the movie theater, but it's not as cheerful in reality. That was interesting. But direction-wise, there wasn't a whole lot that made me take notice other than that. And they did a bit more in the spoilers. Like, Wood Harris did fine. Mekhi Phifer, he has a good emotional moment where his kid brother has been kidnapped and needs a ransom, and he doesn't have the money for it, and he's tearing up, and he's just mad that his brothers got into this, and You can find the scene on YouTube. He did a nice job. Nice acting performance. Cameron, who's the guy like Mekhi Phifer like said, met in jail, helped him out in jail, and then Mekhi Phifer spoke for him, can get him a job. He's the guy who's the hothead. He is trying to push more for his own gain. Has a bit more of the attitude. Well, there's a point where someone's talking shit and he drives a guy out of the car, makes him undress, and steers a shove and then makes him run away. Fuck you, deaf man? Huh, you want a Calvin's hose? And when I said, again, spoilers, when I said, even though it's based on a true story, I could kind of see where it was going. I'm like, okay, these three guys, one of them made it out. Probably because he's doing some of the narration at the beginning. Although, with Menace to Society, that doesn't automatically mean the person makes it out. Which is one of the clever things that I didn't talk about when I mentioned that movie. But here, okay, one's the lead, one's the bad guy, so that means one's gonna die, and Mekhi Phifer's not the lead, and this other guy, he's gonna be the bad guy, so you can guess who's going to die. So again, this guy's gonna turn, Mekhi Phifer's gonna die, and then this other guy's gonna make it. And that's what happens. So pretty much, Wood Harris gives the money and the drugs, I should say, hey, go get your brother, use this. And then next, Mekhi Phifer is found dead. And then we, the viewers, see what happened. Cameron turned on him. Wood Harris goes up to him and says, hey, what the fuck happened? He could tell Cameron's lying. So then he fucks with him and goes, oh yeah, okay, you want some business, go talk to those guys. Knowing that those guys probably works with the FBI. So pretty much snitched on him and got him arrested. And then that's kind of how it ends. Very mundane, very minute. Again, when it's based on a true story, what am I going to expect? Them to just have an action scene out of the blue that didn't happen in real life? So I get that. It's just, I watch, I go, that's it? That's kind of a reaction, that's it. I just think with all the other urban gangster, like all the other type of films out there, I'll mention them one more time. New Jack City, Fresh, Juice, Caught Up, Set It Off, Menace to Society, of course Boys in the Hood, which I haven't mentioned yet. There's many other better options than this. Let alone Friday, which is a much funnier movie. It's meant to be funny. This isn't meant to be funny. Or on the flip side, go watch Scarface with Al Pacino again. Like I said, the acting's not bad. If you need to watch every one of these type of movies, I know this is just like a 7.79 to be. That's fine. Like I say, it's not a bad movie. It's just at the end of the day, kind of a mundane, typical meh. I will say by the numbers. Kind of a by the numbers movie. A by the numbers flick. Innocent guy just pulled into the drug business. Friends with a drug dealer. He dies. This other guy turns on him. And then that guy gets arrested. Our lead guy is living with his family, his baby. He makes like a little rant or something at the end about how rappers are now trying to do that lifestyle, and while we did it before in the 80s. Whatever. Maybe that would have been a more interesting story to tell, true story to tell and base it on. I don't know. This would be, it was hard to review this because it's like I don't know what to really talk about. The soundtrack didn't really grab me. None of the songs grabbed me. The direction, like I said, is kind of meh. Nothing other than that one scene I mentioned with the Scarface bit. Nothing really came to mind or stuck out. And the actors, like I said, Mekhi Phifer does a nice job. Kind of wish he was the lead. To be honest, I wish he was the lead of the film. Because I think of the three, Wood Harris was the less interesting person, and he's the lead guy. Like, Mekhi Phifer was the most interesting, because he's a friend. He's a drug dealer, but he's really careful about his little brother. I didn't even mention this part. There's also this other guy who's the uncle that he's fighting with and trying to get him out. He always wants money, and he doesn't do anything, and he's a bum. And spoiler alert, he's the one that kidnapped the little brother. And then when the ransom didn't come, the little brother died because this piece of shit uncle was behind it. And then Cameron, he found a way to get rid of this guy and worked his way up the ladder, found the opportunity and used it. So, yeah. Like I said, Mekhi Phifer's character seemed more interesting, and Cameron, as a bad guy, had a little bit of fun reactions of just having fun as a bad guy, little things here and there that he would do. I said Wood Harris is okay, but he's the least interesting actor of the three main. Again, that's just my opinion. So, disagree if you want. I'll go watch all those other movies. I'm sure there's still going to be someone to say, you're racist, you don't like it. I didn't say I disliked it. I didn't say I hated it. It's not a rant. It's just, meh. I've seen better. That's your opinion. Of course it's my opinion. Who else's opinion is going to be? I can only say my opinion. If you love it, that's cool. Just my opinion. So, with that, thanks for watching. We'll see you guys later. Bye-bye.